Hello, welcome to our session on deaf and hard of hearing studies. My name is Reg Romero. I'm the moderator for this session. We have an interpreter right now named Tyler Churchman, who will be working with us for this session. Welcome to our virtual open house, Experience VCC virtual open house. We start with a territory acknowledgement, something we do as a tradition here at VCC. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we are on the unceded territory of the Coast Salish peoples, the traditional home of the Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. Today you'll hear about English upgrading, ASL, job readiness, and living successfully with hearing loss. We have a few minutes allotted for each of those topics. Then we'll have a VCC advisor discuss how they can help you with the application process. We'll have a Q&A. And I'll also present a code later on to enter for a $1,000 tuition prize. So for the Q&A, since you can't talk to us directly, we're using a chat function here, and it's a live chat. And during the presentations, we'll ask for you to post your questions there, and then I will read it out loud and Tyler will interpret as we get to that. And that'll be after the presentations by the department. So today the presentations, oh, one last thing too. If we don't get to your questions in this session, there is an advisor drop-in Zoom session until 5 o'clock today, and I will include that link in the live chat. We'll be using the live chat. Pay attention to it throughout the session because we will be answering questions there in real time and posting links, useful links for later. So there's two presenters today. Marcia Tanaka is a department head, and we'll be talking about areas that have deaf and or hard of hearing hard of hearing student populations. And this cohort takes its instruction via American Sign Language, or ASL. Lisa Dillon Edgett will be speaking to hard of hearing applicants interested in living successfully with hearing loss courses. These courses provide strategies, tools, and skills for better communication taught using voice. And we'll have our VCC advisor come on later and answer some of the application questions. So let's get on here. All right, so our first presenter will be Marcia.
Okay. Can you see me, Tyler?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, thank you very much, Reg. We'll get started. I like the slide that's up there in the picture, in the slide particularly. It is from the DHH department. It's from the job readiness program. And most of the students that we have in that picture went out on a practicum work experience. They go out on to a number of different workplaces and apply the skills they learn in the job readiness program. And that's one of the courses and areas we have in the DHH department. I want to talk more about the entire department though. We have 4 different areas that we offer instruction in. The first one is English upgrading and numeracy. So students will learn English grammar, literacy skills, learn vocabulary, we'll learn idioms as well. Everything you can expect in an English course, and it's also includes some real world application where we go out into the world and use English in kind of the real world setting. And then students can transfer out into other academic programs after those courses. Another stream we have is more everyday use of English. So if students want to, work on their resume developing skills, the English is required for that. Also, communication via email, the English will be required for that. That's another kind of stream students can go into. And then we also have our kind of foundational skills in English. And that would be kind of your day-to-day use of English. If you had a question you wanted to ask somebody, how would you go about doing that? The language you use for that. If you needed to fill out some kind of a form, maybe a government form, some English that you would typically encounter on a form like that. So those are the three kind of streams of English that we're able to offer. And it will be coming up that we offer those three streams. Right now we don't, we have the English upgrading, but we don't have the three particular streams set. We have a number of different levels of English that we currently offer in our upgrading. And that would include grammar, reading and writing, of course. And then the second area is the Job Readiness Program, commonly referred to as JRP. That's been a course that I've taught for many years. And that course will cover, how to successfully go into a job interview, resume development, some vocabulary related specifically to the workplace, communication in the workplace, some kind of problems that can arise in the workplace and how to deal with those, how to communicate effectively, looking at different skills for communication in specific work settings. There's also a practicum placement. So students are able to pick a workplace that they're wanting to go up to and get some real world experience, actually get onto a job. And those practicum placements are a 4-week work experience. And then the goal of that is that the student would be hired into that work experience placement afterwards. We also have American Sign Language courses. And that's for deaf or hard of hearing people specifically. That isn't courses that non-deaf people can take. There's a different department that will cover courses for non-deaf people to learn ASL, but this is for deaf or hard of hearing people who have immigrated to Canada or grew up here, but they don't know very much American Sign Language. They weren't exposed to it very much. That allows them to take courses and work on their fluency in American Sign Language. Could also be someone that grew up in Canada and relied on some residual hearing and uses some American Sign Language but wants to develop their fluency. They could take a course in one of our ASL courses under the DHH program. And then the last kind of course that we offer, it was formerly speech reading. It's now living successfully with hearing loss. And that is the courses that Lisa teaches, so I'll let Lisa cover those, and that will be coming up shortly. So that's just kind of a general summary of the courses that we offer in the department here. And our department really has people from all over the world coming to take our courses. Often people will come to the college and it's a rich environment that we provide in the department here. And now, we have transitioned to online, but it is still a very rich environment. At the start of things, everyone was getting used to Zoom, but we've become very accustomed to using Zoom, and we've got our courses laid out online. We're able to use the online platform Moodle, so we can work through coursework on Moodle and then have the Zoom meetings when needed and instruct via Zoom. And the instruction we're providing now is very much the same as what we provided before in person. And our lessons and classes are conducted in American Sign Language. We're able to break students out into groups and they can work on projects in group work. So there's lots of activities that we are still able to incorporate into our instruction, even though we are online. It's really an enjoyable learning experience, and we really enjoy having students come in. If they're in an online class, they're still able to come in and kind of enjoy the learning experience. It's something that you can test out if you'd like to kind of get your feet wet before diving in. If you are interested, I would suggest contacting dhh@vcc.ca, and then we'd be able to set up an appointment and have you test out the online system. We'd also do an English language assessment and then be able to place students from there in the appropriate level of English. It is something that you'd be able to take a look at a couple different options just to see what is really being offered in each of the classes. So if you wanted to join and take a look, see what's being offered, and just make sure you get yourself placed in the right class, that is something we can facilitate in the DHH department. Our department's been around for 46 years now at VCC, so we've been around for quite a while. It's a department that's been very strong for many years. And we hope you're able to come and visit us and see what we're all about.
Thank you, Marcia. Next, we'll have Lisa speak about to hard of hearing applicants interested in the Living Successfully with Hearing Loss courses.
Thanks, Reg. My name is Lisa, and I am the instructor for these courses. I say courses because we actually have 3 levels of this course now. So we're very excited to have developed the curriculum. Essentially, these courses, the goal is to have people with hearing loss gain some skills and knowledge and abilities to be able to communicate more effectively. And the students who come to this class want to communicate in a hearing world, right? So it's different from the other courses where the students learn and communicate via American Sign Language. In the Living Successfully with Hearing Loss courses, the people come from the community and they want to learn how to communicate more successfully and more effectively in a hearing world. So the Living Successfully with Hearing Loss Level 1 course is offered online right now and is going really, really well. Essentially, in this course, there are 5 different learning objectives. So just briefly, one of them is to learn to communicate from the point of view of a person with hearing loss. So thinking about, communication issues and factors, but specifically from the point of view of a person with hearing loss. We learn about communicating using speech reading. So looking at getting information from the lips, but also putting that together with what we hear, what we see, what we know about the conversation, the topic, the context. We also work with learning and practicing communication strategies. So, for example, instead of just saying what when you don't understand, using more specific, effective strategies. We learn about different technology that can help facilitate and make communication more accessible. And we learn and talk about and practice becoming more assertive. So assertiveness skills to let people know what you need to communicate more effectively. So those are our sort of 5 basic learning objectives for the course. The course lasts 12 weeks. We meet once a week for 12 weeks. And with our new online course, all the material, or much of the material, is presented on a website. At VCC, we use a learning management system called Moodle. So the information is presented on Moodle in the form of, handouts, videos, links to the web, maybe mini lectures that I tape on different topics. So each week you would gain access to that week's material, review it, and then you would meet with a small group of people and myself once a week on Zoom. And that gives us an opportunity to discuss and explain and to practice any of that material. so that's kind of the setup of the course. Once a week, 12 weeks. The material is online, but then we meet on Zoom to facilitate any kind of learning on those materials. One thing I'd also like to say is that we always encourage friends and family members of people with hearing loss to register with the person with hearing loss. This course is about communication, and it's really important and really beneficial if people can take the course together to learn these strategies and learn how to communicate about communicating more effectively together. And people report that it's really been a positive thing to participate with a partner in this course. But of course, you're welcome to come and learn about the strategies on your own if that's your preference. I think that's the basics of the course, but I'm happy to answer any questions. We have new courses that are beginning in January. And at this point, the courses are scheduled to take place on Monday evenings and Tuesday afternoons. The maximum class size is 8. So if these classes fill, we may have the opportunity to add more.
All right. Thank you, Lisa. Up next will be our VCC academic advisor, Shifumi. And Shifumi, could you explain what you do at VCC and how prospective students can get in touch with you?
Hello, hi, my name is Shifumi. I'm from Advising Office. VCC has lots of programs to offer, and you might wonder, you want to take some programs after you study at Deaf and Hard of Hearing department. You might want to do cooking, you might do hairstyling, or you might want to go to the university. And you may wonder if you have all the requirements ready, or you do need to do the upgrading, or you may need to do some assessment. Please make an appointment with an advisor. We will here to talk to you and assist you to plan your study. We see the students Monday to Friday, 9 to 4, and we are also open late on Wednesdays until 7. There is an online form you can fill out and see one of the advisors. We also have advising drop-in today and tomorrow, 12 to 5. Please feel free to come and talk to us. Thank you.
All right. We're now at the point where if you have questions, please write them in chat and we'll get some of our presenters to answer them. So if you have any questions relevant to the programs, please feel free to ask. We'll keep the chat open for about 5 minutes to give you time to think about your questions or anything related to the programs. Oops. All right. Somehow we had a Word file in there. So everybody, while we're waiting for any questions, was there something that you've been asked before, Lisa or Marcia, that you feel, oh, that's a commonly asked question, and may want to discuss it with our attendees?
I could talk a little bit about, what's the difference between the online experience and the face-to-face from the past classes in the Living Successfully with Hearing Loss course. I wondered at first when we started moving our courses online if online would actually work well for people who had hearing loss and who needed to see people's faces and hear them well. And so I was a little bit doubtful, but once I used these systems, right, Moodle and Zoom, to teach the class, I felt very confident, and I feel very confident that it's a really good system for people who have hearing loss. I mean, for one, when we use Zoom, you get to see everyone's face, right? So you get a very clear view of their face. It's a lot easier to control having one person speak at a time. And people can also do a good job of adjusting their own audio. So some people will wear headphones, other people will connect the sound source from their laptop or their computer directly to their hearing aids, or they can just control the volume of their speakers themselves. So the course online seems quite accessible. And one of the benefits, in addition to that, is that people can participate in this course who now live, further afield. So this semester, I actually have people who are participating all the way from Vancouver Island to Newfoundland. And next, in January, I have people who are interested who live in Saskatchewan. So I really love that people are able to take advantage of this course who don't have to live, within driving distance of the college. So in terms of accessibility, it's great, and it just provides more opportunities to greater people.
Tyler, can you see me? Okay.
I'll talk a little bit about some of the areas, other areas in DHH now. Thank you for talking about living successfully with hearing loss. I think the program is going really well. There's great attendance in that program. It's been quite popular. The other areas that we have, the English upgrading, the job readiness program, and ASL courses, they've been around for quite a while. And with it now being delivered online, it's very much still, it's within the college. There's still instructors that have been here for quite a while, still teaching the same courses. They've modified activities and group activities so they can be done online. I don't know if you're very familiar with Zoom or not, but Zoom does have the feature to go into a breakout room. So instructors can split students off into separate breakout rooms so they can have private discussions or work on a group activity, that it's not just one big group. They break them out into smaller groups. And then after that group activity and those discussions, they're pulled back into the larger group to share what was discussed. So it can be really effective when using these tools. Right now, we can't go out onto different field trips, but we can do virtual field trips. And there's actually a lot of different options for virtual field trips online, and we're creating new partnerships and getting kind of new activities set up, working with other institutions and places so that we're still able to provide the same instruction. And we have students coming from all over the world. So we've got students coming from Europe, we've got some students from South America, some students from Africa. And we've got a teacher who is originally from Australia. So it's really a diverse program, and there's a lot of cultural sharing that we can do. It's really a rich environment. And if we were on campus, we might not have such a diverse and rich environment. So it's been great that we can open things up a little bit more and really welcome diversity. We've had students join from various places just because we are now online. Some of the common questions we get as well, questions around paying for the courses, how much a course would actually cost. So if you're taking a course in DHH, you're able to apply for the Adult Upgrading Grant, which is commonly referred to as AUG. So that would cover your tuition and cover a number of different fees that are charged by the college. And that would also depend on your income to qualify for that grant. So if you're under the income threshold, you're able to qualify. If you're over that income threshold, there are some other options that can be explored to get funding in place. So there is funding options available, and that's something you get help with to ensure that you can afford to take courses if you'd like to. Also, you can work with disability services if you are needing any kind of an accommodation. If you need a note taker in class, if you're trying to attend a class and keep up and it's just too much because of a disability that you have to take notes at the same time, disability services can arrange an accommodation so that you'll be able to get a note taker arranged for class. Or if you need a laptop or an iPad so that you can have equal access to class, that is something that you can get provided by ATBC. It's Assistive Technology BC that would be able to provide that. And that's something that disability services at the college can help to make arrangements for. There's a number of different things they can help to arrange just to ensure that any barriers you're able to overcome. So you can get in touch with disability services and talk about any barriers that you have experienced, and then they'll be able to help make those accommodation arrangements. So the three areas that we have, the job readiness program, English upgrading, and ASL, they're all taught in American Sign Language, so you would need fluency, some level of fluency in American Sign Language. And if you don't have fluency or you don't feel like that wouldn't be accessible to you to take a class in American Sign Language, you'd be able to take a course first and work on that. And then once you have that fluency, then move over into the JRP program or the English upgrading courses. As Shifumi had you mentioned, you could also transition to other programs or other institutions. We do have another program, which is Access to Trades. And the program, it's a eight-week program designed for deaf and hard of hearing students. It started a few years ago in auto body, and those programs have gone really well. They've been really successful. I think there was access to culinary arts, and then an access to spa and salon. And then this year, well, actually coming up next year, we're working on setting up an access to technology. So if that would be something you're interested in, please do reach out to me, and we can explore that as well. So that's a partnership with other areas in at the college, and then it's a smaller cohort with interpreters booked for the cohort. So it's usually around 8 deaf and hard of hearing students doing those access programs. That's a common question that we have get asked. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Marcia. Doesn't look like we have any questions in the live Q&A, so we'll move on with our presentation. I've just shown the slide here of the various services available to students at VCC. You can find all of these at our website. Some you might be familiar with already. And here are some next steps on how to go about learning more and getting to an application process. So sometimes there's information sessions held. by the various programs, and you'll find them on our website. We have a specific section for info sessions, and it'll give you the date and time. All our sessions are being done on Zoom, of course. Not everything's virtual right now. Once you find an interest in a program that you like, feel free to make an appointment with an advisor, and showed you the advising slide previously on how to find them. We have an advisor here too if you have any questions. And then apply and register at vcc.ca, and today waive the application fee. So that's for domestic students, and there's a promo code that goes in when it asks for payment, and the promo code's down there, info 1020, and it's all capped. So today is a special day. Apply for a program, and we waive the application fee. Also a chance to win a tuition credit of $1,000. There's 3 prizes, and you enter there at vcc.ca experience, and use the code SKILLS to be able to enter that. So essentially that wraps up today's presentation. I've added a link in the chat for the Zoom session that is going on for the rest of the afternoon. It's where you can connect with some advisors to ask specific questions about the application process, or other things about prerequisites, or I guess deadlines are also important. But that's all I have for now, and have a great afternoon, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.